Hey everybody, welcome back to the ECG channel. My name is Reed, and today's ECG is going to be a fun Holter monitor. If you want to follow along with this PDF document, go ahead and head down to the description below and click the link so you can download this document and follow along and make your own notes. And so let's go ahead and get started. So a Holter monitor is a wearable device, monitor. It's a wearable device that essentially is going to measure the cardiac electrical conduction for a prolonged period of time, up to a handful of days. And so this is really good if you have a patient that's got symptoms of syncope, palpitations, lightheadedness that are intermittent. They come to the office, you get an ECG, you get all the tests done, but nothing seems to be wrong with them when they're in front of you, right? But it's always like, yeah, it happens 3 times a week. And so you're like, well, let's kind of get you on this monitor and see what goes on. And so we've got 2 different readings from this monitor. The first top strip is its own reading. And then later, we've got this one, number 2, right? And this number 2 is a continuous strip kind of at 2 levels, right? So it just continues down. So 2 different readings. We're going to, in 2 different captured episodes, and we're going to kind of talk through what each of them shows. So the first one, we notice that we've got this rhythm. It looks like it's wide, but who really knows? It's a Holter monitor, right? These things are just kind of just taped onto your chest. So who really knows? But what we can tell is that we've got a rhythm that's very regular, right? If we look at it, it's a very regular rhythm, right? We're only getting like 5 beats here, but it's regular throughout the entirety of the strip. It seems to be, I don't know, I'd say it's pretty slow, right? If we measure the rate, starting from maybe this QRS complex, we would get 300, 150, 100, 75, 60, 50. This is 43, so I don't know, maybe 35 or so beats per minute, right? Does it really matter at this point? It's slow. This is a severe bradycardia, right? And it's a regular occurring bradycardia, so the first thing that we need to rule out is this is a complete heart block. So we look at the atrial activity, and we see that we've got P waves, right? Here's my P wave. We've got another P wave we can see here. Yeah, maybe there's P waves in front of my QRSs, right? Yeah, P wave in front of my QRSs, but look at the PR interval, right? The PR interval, remember, is my AV node, right? So we get our nice atrial contraction via atrial depolarization, and then the time it takes for that signal to get to the ventricles is via the AV node. And so my PR interval, if you look here, is longer until it gets shorter every time. My PR interval is getting shorter. So are you telling me that my PR interval is just getting better and better and better with every beat? Highly unlikely, very highly unlikely. Look what else I see. Now that I'm thinking, I wonder if these P waves are actually conducting to the QRS, I see this. Well, what is that? Because I don't see that here. I don't see that here, but I see an extra P wave that definitely is not being conducted to a QRS. And then if I actually look closely, I see this little hump on the end of that T wave that's typically not there. That's another P wave. So actually, what do I have here? I have P waves that are marching through this rhythm. Look, we've got P, P, P wave. We have another P wave, P wave. Where's the next one? Right, it could be a premature contraction that is causing that sharp deflection there, right? So maybe it's that, right? So we've got P waves that are marching through this rhythm with a PR interval that's constantly changing in a regular complex QRS. These are all pointing us to a complete 3rd degree AV block. Okay, so we've got evidence of a complete AV block on the first captured rhythm. Alrighty, so not good, but let's look at number 2 and maybe kind of work through this one. This time, we've got a faster interval between each of these R to R intervals, we can call them. But notice that we've got groups of beats. We've got group, we've got a group, we've got a group. Group beating makes me think of a 2nd degree block because we know that the PR interval will go and go and go until it doesn't. And so what do we have here? In this rhythm, we've got a P wave that maybe goes to that QRS. We've got a P wave that goes to this QRS. But notice the PR interval here, it grows when you compare it to the next, right? This next one is longer. So my PR interval is increasing. And then where's my last P wave? Well, if you look really closely, the morphology of this T wave looks a little different, right? It's got these little small deflections on it that don't typically happen on these nice smooth T waves previously. So I can guarantee you that there's a P wave hidden in there. And so my PR interval would be longer until the next P wave drops, right? And so I would say that this is probably another P wave that is hidden in this T wave that is blocked, right? We get better evidence of that here. Let's take a look at this one, right? We're kind of almost guessing a little bit on that one, but let's find some better concrete data. So we have P wave to that QRS, P wave to this QRS with a longer PR interval when you compare it to this one. And then, yeah, look at right there. You see that little sharp notch? That's definitely a P wave that was blocked, right? And so we're getting a PR interval that is getting longer and longer and longer until it drops. And then we see it resumes again. P wave to the QRS, P wave to the QRS takes longer. Then you see that P wave buried on the T wave again, that it's blocked. So this is evidence of a second degree type 1 AV block. Okay? So we have evidence of a second degree type 1 AV block where the PR interval gets longer, 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 and then it drops, causing this group beating. And then we also have evidence of our complete AV block. So this person is going in between, back and forth from the complete heart block and the second degree type 1 AV block. They're going back and forth from this. That's kind of risky, right? But we know where the level of the block is because we know second degree type 1 blocks are blocks of the AV node proper. And so we at least know kind of where the block is, but regardless, this person is going to get a pacemaker, right? They need a pacemaker, right? So can't be in these third degree blocks, right? Not the safest thing in the world, right? And we need to work them up for why they're having this AV block. What are they having? Ischemic heart disease? Are they having, non-ischemic cardiomyopathy, some genetic things? Do they have cardiac amyloid, right? You got to work them up. You got to think through these concepts. So I hope this helps. Hope this helps you understand kind of the findings that you can have on a Holter monitor that could lead you toward a good diagnosis and correlating them together, understanding the progression of this person's disease. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. And if not, thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. See you on the next ECG video.